Looks like Millett might have won this. He did by 2/100ths of a second over Brandon. That S4 guy off turn 4 for the final time sees the checkered flag. It waves. It belongs to the 315. Checkered flag. Contact and Brian Rose wins it. A photo finish at the line. Oh, we got a wreck. Will Hewitt's through the trial for the final time, and oh, they're wrecking. Big trouble. Vincent Short sneaks through, and I think Short. Called the Tricky Triangle by some, Pocono Raceway is utterly unique. Situated in the Pocono Mountains of northeastern Pennsylvania, the 2.5-mile tri-oval features 3 very different turns connected by straightaways of varying lengths. Turn 1 is banked at 14 degrees, Turn 2 is banked at 8 degrees, and Turn 3 at 6 degrees. Pocono's main straightaway is the longest on any North American speedway at 3,740 feet. The Long Pond straightaway stretches for more than 3,000 feet between turns 1 and 2, while the run from turn 2 to 3 is a mere 1,780 feet. The resulting speedway poses special demands on drivers and engineer alike. For a chassis that works well on the steeply banked turn 1 will be less than ideal for the flatter turn 2, let alone turn 3. The downforce necessary for maximum grip in any of the turns will slow a car on the long straightaways, and turn 3 requires heavy braking. In some cases, even a gear change, making Pocono Raceway among the world's most challenging speedways. Pocono Raceway first opened for business in 1969, featuring a 3/4-mile oval. The 2.5-mile speedway was completed in 1971 and immediately began hosting one of its jewels in IndyCar racing Triple Crown of 500-mile races. Local hero Mario Andretti battled the likes of A.J. Foyt, Al and Bobby Unser, Johnny Rutherford, and Gordon Johncock in IndyCar races. NASCAR was also at Pocono from the early days, as witnessed by the fact that Richard Petty won NASCAR's inaugural Pocono 500 in 1974. Pocono also staged a number of top-flight sports car races on its combination road course oval layouts in the 70s and 80s. Even the modifieds ran the original 3/4-mile oval encircling the pit area. Tonight, it's race number 8 of the No Bull Racing Series, and it's next on HBR TV. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the virtual Pocono Raceway, the No Bull Racing Series, round number 8. 80 laps, the race distance here tonight. Stage break coming at lap 25. 79-degree ambient temperature, 53% humidity, clear skies, slightly breezy at 9 miles per hour, and track temp 115 degrees. Guys are slipping and sliding around here in these Gen 4 Cup cars as practice just about wrapped up. Let's go trackside and see where everyone's shaking out. Fast time so far is Zach Millett with a 53.67. Watch Chris Goins, the number 41 Popo Pro machine. Mike Tucker was fast early on in this section with a 53.86, and he stayed up there within that top 3 Just a couple of tenths shy of Millett. Chris Mefford, Neil Quick, Brandon Mefford, your top 5. One thing I have noticed with Michael Tucker in the practice night, he's been fast, but every time I look at that race car, he's got it hung out big time, right rear, just driving out of the corner on that tire. Could be troublesome for the driver of that machine later on with tire wear on the right rear. We'll see how that plays out. With that, though, let's see who takes to the track first in the qualifying session. Looks like Brian McCann may be first. Brian sporting his IROC paint scheme here tonight. NS Vengeance in the stream chat. We ride with the Tuckers. Thanks for checking in, guys. Not gonna lie, I thought it said truckers before, but now I get it. Allison Rose, same story. Let's go Tuckers. McCann takes the green flag, lap 1 here in the qualifying session. Has to lift quite a bit out of turn 2. McCann almost gets in the wall, misses it by just a few inches. He's backing the throttle way up the racetrack. I think he's going to try and burn that first lap and make lap 2 the fast one. At the stripe, McCann finishes up. Meanwhile, Will Hewitt fastest of 53.98. Switch over to Will, see if lap 2 is any quicker. We're certain that lap 2 for McCann is going to be faster, as that first one seemed to be a throwaway. Big lift out of 2 for Will Hewitt. He does get a piece of the wall, so that's all he's going to have for that session, that lap, that attempt. Drew Prowl second quick, 54.30. Prowl might have got the wall there just a bit. That's going to negate his lap, so he drops to the 3rd position. Will Hewitt drops to 2nd as McCann on his 2nd lap, as we expected, jumps to the lead. Top of the board, 53.90 for the 3. Across the stripe, Zach Millett, first lap, 1st position, 53.851. Half a tenth quicker than Brian McCann, and he might have more in the tank here in that 3.15. Real smooth out of turn 2. It's been troublesome for some this afternoon. Millett out of turn 3, back to start finish. Finishes up the lap, 53.880. A little bit slower on the 2nd lap for Millett, though he does sit comfortably on top of the leaderboard. Vincent Short, first lap of 54.506. Short up the racetrack again. It's going to carry some momentum down the straightaway, though. We'll see if that helps him out. Short through the tunnel turn, now into turn 3. Again, only 3 corners officially here at Pocono. Short out of the groove. Across the stripe, does he improve? 54.493, a little bit faster. Matt Sisler on the track. Sisler goes 7th quick, 54.13. 1 more to go. Full fuel load here tonight for these drivers. 2 sets of tires available over the wall. No fast repair. And you have the opportunity for 3 attempts at a green-white checkered finish if necessary. Sisler back into turn 3 here, trying to move himself into the top 5 at least. He's 7th currently, again 54.13 the first lap. Burps the throttle a little bit in the middle of turn 3, back at it down the main straightaway. Let's see where he lands. Second lap for Sisler is slower, 54.219. 3 drivers have yet to take a time. Neil Quick, Doug Wysocki, Mark Truxell. They may opt to start from the rear. We'll see if that pans out. With that said, though, we're going to step aside, get a break out of the way. We'll be back after this.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
flag. Contact and Brian Rose wins it. A photo finish at the line. Oh, we got a wreck. Will Hewitt through the trial for the final time, and oh, they're wrecking. Big trouble. Vincent Short sneaks through, and I think Short. Back at Pocono Raceway for race number 8 of the No Bull Racing Series. Let's take a look at our starting grid. On the pole position with a lap time of 53.851 seconds, it's the 315 of Zach Millen. Outside front row in the 3, missed it by 54 thousandths of a second, it's Brian McCann. Row number 2 in the 3rd spot, Brandon Mefford, the number 83 with Charity Motorsports. Starting 4th, it's Michael Tucker with Right Turn Racing. 5th starter is Will Hewitt. Missed his 2nd lap, might have had a shot at the pole, you'll never know, but he's still starting inside the top 5. 6th starter is Chris Mefford. 7th goes to the 93 of Matt Sisler, the only Kia in the field tonight. Chris Goins, the number 41 Popple Pro machine, he'll start 8th. 9th goes to Drew Prowl in the 80. Keaton Burnett from Lone Star Racing comes here in the 10th position, the number 26. 11th starters, Ken Couch, also joining us from LSR. Vincent Short will start in the 12th position. 13th starter is Jesse Redding, also with Right Turn Racing. Shane Haas here in the 23, he'll start 14th. Joe Tucker will start 15th, with Larry Bruner rolling from the 16th position. 17th starter did not make an attempt to qualify, will start 17th. Neil Quick in the 2. Mark Truxell rolling from the 18th spot, also didn't choose a qualifying lap. Doug Wysocki shotgun on the field in the 19th position, also choosing not to qualify here tonight. It's your starting grid from Pocono Raceway. Field starting to roll down pit lane. Green flag racing the next time by. So we've got, again, NS Vengeance, Allison Rose, Chastity Tucker, Realtor, and Tay Rose all cheering on those Tucker boys. Stream chat is overwhelmed with Tucker support. Again, real quick, the race details. 80 laps the race distance with a stage break at end of lap 25. Not as breezy as it was, down to 6 miles per hour. Track temp still 115 degrees. Air temperature 79 with 52% humidity. 2 sets of tires over the wall and a full fuel load at 100%. Should be plenty to get us to the stage. Pace car is off. Barney with the green in hand, and it waves, and we're racing from the tricky triangle. Car lengths ahead of Brian McCann. Down the short chute into turn number 3. Lap 1 in the books. Zach Millett leads it, still carries about a 0.4 of a second advantage over Brian McCann. McCann, no challenger to speak of just yet. Brandon Mefford running in 3rd. Top 5 all in the same positions they took the green flag at. Nothing has changed there. A couple of swapping around there in the 6th and 7th position. Matt Sisler up a position. Chris Goins up 1 spot. Keaton Burnett up 2. Drew Prell running in 9th. Shane Haas has lost 3 spots. He's back down into the 17th position. Chris Mefford, though, has fallen off pretty considerably. He's back in the 14th spot. He's lost 8 positions thus far. I think he's gotten hung on the outside, and that's really kind of hurting his cause. Now, in the same breath, this just might be a matter of let's save some fuel, let's save some tire. And everybody out here has got a strategy, and they're not necessarily all the same. Chris Mefford is certainly no slouch. He does know what he's doing at some of these places, so we'll see how that one pans out. On board with Chris Mefford. Looking back at Shane Haas and Larry Bruner. Shane Haas showing some battle damage already on the right side of that number 23 machine. Still on board with Chris Mefford. He's not putting up a huge fight. He started 6th. He's lost 10 spots in just first few laps. Back out front, Millett still with the lead, 6.5 tenths over Brian McCann. Field getting through turn number 1. Millett still in command. Everybody pretty single file to this point. Joe Tucker and Ken Couch fighting it out. Tucker to the outside of the 08. Jesse Renning in behind, watching it all unfold. Now you hear Jesse just gently lift out of the throttle. Takes a lot of discipline to do that. A lot of guys just kind of step completely off the pedal, which is not necessarily a bad thing when you do it, but it does unload the rear end of the race car pretty abruptly. And by unload the rear of the race car, for those that may not know what I mean by that, it shifts the weight balance of the car. As Jesse Renning gets into the fence there on corner exit, but it shifts the weight balance of the race car to the nose of the car. You're lifting out of the throttle, so it's just kind of centrifugal force pulling that weight distribution to the nose of the race car, which is great to make it turn, but sometimes you're not having a problem making it turn. So in the instance of Jesse Renning, gently lifting out of the throttle before turn 1, so you don't aggressively unload the rear end. That might be helping him corner through there a little better than if he was just lifting straight off. Watching Will Hewitt still running in the 5th position. Interestingly enough, 7 laps in, the top 5 still unchanged. It's Millett, Brian McCann, Brandon Mefford, Mike Tucker, and Will Hewitt. 6th and 7th still the same. It's Matt Sisler and Chris Goins. Will Hewitt with a big run into turn one, closes the gap on Michael Tucker. Tucker slams the door. Hewitt's going to slot to the outside here, try to carry some momentum down the straightaway. Still tucks in behind Tucker. Mefford slips up the track a little bit, opens the door for Michael Tucker. A little bit of a wiggle for the 39, but he keeps it going. Car length off the back bumper of the 83. And we talked about this earlier in the broadcast, how the 39 of Mike Tucker showed a lot of pace in the practice session, had a strong qualifying run as well. But we watched the right rear of that race car slide out on him almost every single lap in practice, almost drifting that race car through the corners. It made him fast, but I just don't know how long you can keep that up without burning off the right rear and making it way too loose. He's loose again there on the corner exit. Will Hewitt still right there. We'll have to keep a close eye here in the 39 and see if that becomes a problem throughout this run. Again, been green flag here since the original green came out. No issues to speak of thus far. 10 laps in, 15 away from our first stage break, first and only. Oh, big wiggle again. I just don't know how long he's going to be able to keep that up and still keep the right rear underneath that race car. That's a lot of punishment. It creates a lot of extra heat into the tire every time you slide it. Not only are you wearing it out, but you're creating more heat, which makes the problem more pronounced. As you see, Will Hewitt is closed back in to Michael Tucker. This would be the battle for the fourth position. Tucker has it for now. Again, a pretty big wiggle out of turn 3 for Michael Tucker, though he does get out of the corner a little bit better than Will Hewitt. Maintains about a car length and a half. Now Will Hewitt really loose out of the corner, keeps it heading the right direction. Millett still out in front here with a full second, just about a full second advantage over Brian McCann. There it is. Let's watch him for a lap and see how much rear slip 315 has on the corner exit. Back into turn 3 here, so we'll watch one full lap as he gets out of the corner. Nice and smooth so far. Drivers are carrying 197 mile per hour speeds down into turn number 1 and hard on the brakes to get it done. Nice smooth lap for the 315. Didn't see that car slip too much at all. Brian McCann and Brandon Mefford still leading the charge in the IROC group. McCann and Mefford both coming over here after their IROC season has come to its end. Season 7 was the same cars that they're running now, so they kind of have a bit of a leg up coming into this particular league. That said, keep in mind, January 8th High Rock Challenge Series begins season number 8. It'll be at Nashville Fairgrounds in the late model stock. Will Hewitt still tucked in behind Michael Tucker. That top 5 still unchanged. Now we watched a battle here with Matt Sisler and Chris Goins. Goins hot on the trail, maybe a car length plus behind the 93. Tricky exit at turn 1. Sisler able to stretch out his advantage over Goins just a bit. Now it's 2.5, maybe 3 car lengths. Millett still stretching out that lead, a 1 1/4 advantage over McCann and Mefford. Very impressed so far. Top 5 again still unchanged. Millett, McCann, Brandon Mefford, Mike Tucker, Will Hewitt in 5th. And then 6th and 7th remain the same as well. Matt Sisler and Chris Goins as we continue to watch that fight. Though it's not much of one at the time being. It was much closer just a couple of laps ago. Goins was able to get within less than a car length, but I don't know if it's the dirty air that's causing him to lose sight of the 93 slightly. You also see Chris changing up his lane here, trying to get some clean air on the nose of that number 41 Popo Pro machine. But we've got a battle continuing again here for the 4th position. Will Hewitt has tracked down Mike Tucker again. Is back to the back bumper. Hewitt way up the racetrack. Try and build a run. Go to the high side here. Big wiggle out of Mike Tucker. Could have been a disaster there for both of those drivers, but now Hewitt stays right on the back bumper, slides up again in turn 3, but it's allowed Sisler and Goins to close the gap. Hewitt looking to the inside. Will Hewitt takes the spot, and unfortunately for Mike Tucker, it opened the door for Chris Goins as well. Goins gets by Matt Sisler. Sisler tucks back in behind these 3 drivers. Goins is trying to go 2 for 1 here out of turn 3. Move Will Hewitt up into the 4th position. Now we have a battle for 5th. Chris Goins, not much of a battle now. He gets clear of Mike Tucker. Tucker pulls it down to the inside of the racetrack to stop the advance. Effectively stop the bleeding here as Sisler closing in as well. Keith Burnett running back in the 8th spot. He's up 2 positions, closing in on these guys as well. Millett continues to lead. 1.4 the advantage over Brian McCann. Tucker gets a piece of the wall. Just got to wonder how long you can walk that line and drift in the car out of the corner every single lap. That's the problem you're going to run into. That right rear getting warm certainly now for Michael Tucker. Lost a little bit of ground here, and Matt Sisler all over him like a cheap suit. Tucker getting into the fence just a lap ago. Not a real hard impact, but damage is visible on the right side of the number 39. Meanwhile, Chris Goins has jumped up into the 4th position. You see Will Hewitt has lost that spot to the 41. Now he may lose the spot again here to the 39 of Michael Tucker. Hewitt down low on the racetrack. He seemed to be happier up top as he does slide up a little bit. Will Hewitt still staying down a lane below Michael Tucker, but Tuck's in behind. Tucker gets clear. Move Michael Tucker, the 39, up into the 5th position again, but a big wiggle and maybe some more contact with the wall. Breaks the momentum of the 39, opens the position back up for Will Hewitt to take advantage. Still not quite clear as these guys are going to make some contact. Tucker gets into the right rear of the 33, slides him up the track a bit, opens the door for Matt Sisler. Miracle, both of those drivers didn't end up in the wall with a caution. I don't know how they managed to avoid that, but they did. Michael Tucker now slips back to the 8th spot. Keaton Burnett has moved himself up into 7th. Now through those battles, you see how far out in front Chris Goins has gotten the rest of those he was fighting with. Clean track ahead and behind for the 41. Neil Quick making his way through, up 8 positions. Puts the pressure on Michael Tucker now. Neil Quick in the 2, the red and white machine. Contact on the exit at turn 3. Tucker trying everything he's got to try and maintain that position. Aggressive defense out of the 39. This stage of the first stage. Again, lap 25 at the conclusion of 25. We'll finish up our first stage of this race. On board with Neil Quick, running in the 9th spot. Remember, Neil didn't qualify tonight. Just took the provisional, started at the back. I don't know if Neil lost that momentum from that slight contact with Mike Tucker. He hasn't been able to regroup and close back into the back of the 39. We'll see if that was just a choice. I don't think there was hard enough of a contact there to cause any damage to the 2. Meanwhile, Matt Sisler has jumped up in the 5th spot. Will Hewitt back to P6. Keaton Burnett running in the 7th position. Top 3 still the same. Zach Millett, Brian McCann, Brandon Mefford as we put 24 laps up on the board. Millett with a 1.8 second advantage. Will Hewitt way down the bottom of the racetrack. I don't know if that was trying to save the race car on the exit or if he's trying to break the draft. Either way, he still maintains the 6th position. Started 5th here tonight. Millett still without pressure. Last lap of the stage, lap 25, goes up on the board. Next time by, should see the green and white checkered flag indicate the end of this stage. Points will be paid out. Pit stops will be completed. Millen has stretched his lead to almost 2 full seconds in this first stage. Millen out of turn number 3 across the line. He'll go ahead and win stage number 1.
Caution somewhere. Caution.
And caution on the speedway.
Of course, that last run, did you see any rubber laying down at all?
Eddie Rose with the trivia already. What year was the first NASCAR race at Pocono? I'm pretty sure we mentioned it in the Open. So if anybody was A, here for the Open, and B, was paying attention, I'll give it a minute before I repeat it. And Eddie, I assume you mean the first NASCAR Cup Series race, because things may have been different. Modifieds, I don't know what year the Modified Series took on the NASCAR moniker. I think it may have been right off the get-go, to be honest. Essentially might be the oldest series in NASCAR. But to answer everybody's question about the Open, about the first NASCAR race at Pocono, if Eddie is talking about the Cup Series or the Grand National Series at the time, it's 1974. Allison Rose says 1974. Somebody who's paying attention or is good with Google. Either way, you got it. Millet's saving fuel even right now. I don't know if he's got enough to make it back to pit lane. We had a feeling that these guys were going to be close. I think 27 laps was about the max anybody could go, but that's in traffic. I think Millet, being out front from the pole position, led every lap of that first stage. No drafting help for him, so he's burning all the fuel he's got. Again, trying to save what he can before he gets back to pit lane. That's the other thing, too, is, A, you don't want to run out. That's important. But the more fuel you can save prior to your pit stop, that means less time waiting on the fuel to go in. Granted, should be done with that second can before they get the last set of tires on. We'll see if they change them this time. So Zach Millet, your stage winner down pit lane, as well as, well, just about everybody else in the field. Off turn 3. Looks like some drivers staying on the racetrack. That's very interesting. Hopefully they can make it back around. So 2 sets of tires over the box. Oh, and Millet shoots past the pit box, has to back her up. Fresh off a pit road speeding penalty last week, has another mistake. Very uncharacteristic for Zach Millet. Still a close race. I don't know if I know he didn't beat Brian McCann out, but he might have lost to Brandon Mefford as well. So with that, let's see if we can get a word with our stage winner. We'll pull Zach Millet up into the broadcast booth. Zach, it's Steve with HBR TV. You got us?
Hey, Steve, got a copy.
Zach, congratulations on that stage win. Slight mistake there coming into the pit box. What happened there? Late on the brakes?
Yeah, lack of concentration, late on the brakes. Yeah, I just missed it there.
Well, with that said, you still came out, I think, third, so you're going to restart behind Brian McCann. Mefford's going to be the outside front row. Matt Sisler's up there in the mix. What's the plan of attack here for the restart?
I think as long as we can keep it clean, if we can stretch this run out a little bit, I think we'll all kind of cycle out. Car feels really good tonight, man. It's nice to be back at Pocono. I've missed this place.
No, it's definitely one of your favorite places to run outside of Watkins Glen. We wish you the best of luck the rest of the way, man.
Thanks, brother.
Zach Millett, your stage winner here at Pocono. Little lack of concentration in the pit box here. Cost him a couple of spots, but we'll see if this works out for him. And it looks like everyone's going to come down and pit again. This is going to be topping off the tanks. Hopefully nobody makes the mistake to forget to uncheck their tires. We got NS Vengeance in the chat. Says, is this the halftime break? No, not really a halftime. It's an offset break. We usually do a stage break in the first third of the event. So this was lap 25. It's an 80-lap race, but it's the only stage break that we get. And Millett has to back up again. He made the same mistake twice. Somebody get that man a Monster Energy drink. So that's going to cycle a lot of drivers towards the front that weren't running really there throughout the first stage of this event. Will Hewitt was there. Mike Tucker was there. But Keaton Burnett was just inside the top 10. He's going to start outside front row. Then it's Ken Couch. Chris Mefford was way back in the pack. He's worked his way up as well. And Shane Haas there in the 23. Pace car lights are off, so this time by we'll be back green flag racing. Keaton Burnett's got to get caught up here, get side by side with the 33 of Will Hewitt. Row 2, it's Ken Couch and then Michael Tucker. And Shane Haas and Chris Mefford in row 3. Pace car makes the hard left.
Be ready, green flag.
Green flag, back in the air. Hewitt leads him down the Long Pond straightaway. Keaton Burnett second, Michael Tucker, Ken Couch the top 4. Chris Mefford up in the 5th position. Tucker taking a look to the inside of Keaton Burnett. Tucker is there, left side's right on the yellow line. Clean pass. Out of turn 3, moved Tucker into the 2nd spot. Tucker hot on the trail of Will Hewitt, less than a car length off the back bumper. He is there. Clean air makes these cars significantly easier to drive. Tucker would certainly like to get by Will Hewitt here, make that a little bit simpler for him to negotiate this 3-turn, 2.5-mile tri-oval. Tucker making a move to the inside for the race lead. Out of turn number 3, Tucker is there, side by side with Will Hewitt. At the stripe, looks like Tucker led the lap, still not quite clear. Will Hewitt fighting on the outside, not willing to give up the spot. He's going to have a run here out of turn number 1. and carry that momentum down the straightaway into the tunnel turn. We'll see if Hewitt has the momentum around the outside to defend that pass. Hewitt way up the racetrack into the slippery stuff. It's going to allow Keaton Burnett to come into the picture as well, and now challenge for the second position. Tucker gets clear finally, slots up in front of Will Hewitt. On to turn number 3, Michael Tucker, your new race leader here at Pocono Raceway. Now we've got a battle for the second spot again. Will Hewitt and Keaton Burnett. Burnett, the 26, down low to the inside. Keaton get past here of the 33 of Will Hewitt. Was clear for a moment. We got trouble in turn 2.
Save us a little here. Nice and smooth.
Looks like
Pull your
Chris
tires
Mefford
up,
may
get
be
your
in
hands
trouble.
up.
Yes, indeed. Chris Mefford straightening her back out, gets back in it, but the caution has come out. Let's take a look, see what happened here to the 46. First caution for cause of the afternoon. It was a big wiggle for the 46 and another wiggle for the 21, but Redding gets back in the gas, just gets to the rear of Chris Mefford, and a little bit of contact mid-corner sends Chris Mefford up the racetrack and nose first into the outside safer barrier. So Michael Tucker still with the race lead here, catches the pace car on the back straightaway. We're going to take this opportunity to step aside and get a break out of the way. Stay with us. We'll be back after this.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
like Millet might have won this. He did by 2/100ths of a second over Brandon. That S4 guy off turn 4 for the final time sees the checkered flag. It waves. It belongs to the 315. Checkered flag. Contact and Brian Rose wins it. A photo finish at the line. Oh, we got a wreck. Will Hewitt's through the trial for the final time, and oh, they're wrecking. Big trouble. Vincent Short sneaks through, and I think Short. Back at Pocono Raceway, wrapping up caution number 2. 36 laps in. At lap 37, we'll get the green flag once again. Be back racing here from the tricky triangle. Mike Tucker's going to bring him down to the start-finish line. Will Hewitt will start to the outside. Then it's Brian McCann, Drew Prowl. Row number 3, it's going to be Brandon Mefford and Zach Millen.
Ready, green, green, green.
Green flag back in the air. Tucker with a good jump. Tucker maintains the top spot over Brian McCann. Will Hewitt into P3. 4th is Drew Prowl. Brandon Mefford running in the 5th spot. Prowl has slipped back to 5th. Mefford now up to 4th. See how much deeper into the corner Millet drove it that time. Prowl losing a car length and a half, maybe 2, just on the entry. Millet tucks in behind Brandon Mefford. Will Hewitt looking to the outside. Hewitt losing a few spots here on the restart. Side by side down the front straightaway. Millet to the inside of Will Hewitt. Going to try and get 2 for 1 here. Mefford the next on the list as well. Down into turn 1. Millet drives it down to the bottom of the racetrack. Mefford stays up just a lane. Meanwhile, out front, change for the race lead. Brian McCann sneaks underneath of Michael Tucker. Tucker hot on his trail off at turn number 2, not giving an inch. Tucker back to the bottom of the racetrack, going to try and take this race lead back away. Real loose on exit for Michael Tucker. How he saved the car. Up the racetrack, though, lost some momentum. It's going to extend that race lead for Brian McCann down the main straightaway into turn 1. Brian McCann crossed the start-finish line as the race leader halfway here from Pocono Raceway. Michael Tucker running second. Brandon Mefford running in the third spot. Zach Millett up to fourth. Will Hewitt running fifth. Tell you, Tucker's not giving up here. He's not giving Brian McCann an inch of room to try and run away. Just under 0.3 of a second, the advantage over Michael Tucker. Tucker looking strong through turn 3, gained a lot of ground on the 3. Thought he was going to make a move to the inside, just didn't have quite enough of a run to do it. Back into turn number 1 once again. It's 3 car lengths the advantage over Michael Tucker. Tucker drives it way deep, closes it into a couple of car lengths, but I think McCann's going to be able to drive out of the corner a little bit better than the 39. Pretty equal actually that time. Continue to watch this fight for the race lead. Brian McCann has it. Mike Tucker in the second spot. Third is still Brandon Mefford. Zach Millett unable to really close the gap and challenge the 83, at least just not yet. Gives you an example of how important that clean air really is. Millett was dominant in that first stage. Every lap was putting distance on the rest of the field, but here he runs in the 4th position, seemingly unable to reel in. Eventually past the 83 of Brandon Mefford for the 3rd spot. Mefford up the racetrack a bit, allows Millett to close in slightly. Millett to the inside. I think Mefford's going to have a better run on the exit of the corner here. Millett still tucks in behind the 83, now still in the 4th position. Meanwhile, Neil Quick has worked himself up into the top 5. Made 12 passes for position on the racetrack here. Remember, did not qualify tonight, just took the provisional, didn't go out and turn lap at all. Started in the 17th position, now comfortably within the top 5 over Will Hewitt in 6th. Back to the main straightaway, 45 laps off on the board. Millett still trying to figure out an answer to the problem that's in front of him, and that problem is the 83 of Brandon Mefford. Mefford's tough to get around in any circumstance, but you throw the dirty air at you, it makes it even harder. Through that, though, you see that 2 of Neil Quick starting to reel both of these drivers in. He's going to come in and play a part in this fight before too long. Meanwhile, back out front, Brian McCann still with the lead now, 0.4 plus over Michael Tucker, starting to be able to stretch out that lead just a bit over the 39. compact. Jesse Redding and Matt Sisler battling for position. Redding in the 9th spot. Sisler running 10th. Sisler to the inside to Drew Prahl. 9, 10, 11 here. Sisler takes the spot from the 80. Up the racetrack goes Jesse Redding. Sisler keeps it pinned on the bottom. He may get 2 for 1 here. Exit at turn number 1 down the long pond straightaway. Side by side, they drag race. It's going to be a run down into the tunnel turn. Sisler up the 9th spot. Shane Haas real loose out of turn 3, keeps it straight. We're not quite there yet, but green flag pit stops likely a possibility here before you know it. Say right around the lap 60 mark, you may see that final round of pit stops if we stay green. Meanwhile, Jesse Redding and Drew Prahl have both taken their positions back from Matt Sisler. Almost contact with the wall there for a moment. Redding now into the 9th position. Prahl 10th. Sisler has slipped back to the 11th spot, but fighting back. Keaton Burnett coming back into the picture as well. Really is the battle on the racetrack to be watching right now as we see Drew Prahl going to the inside, trying to take the position from Jesse Redding. Might be good news to the eyes of Matt Sisler there as he runs in behind both of these two. Get them fighting for position, might give an opportunity back to Sisler to take it back away. Prahl goes to the inside. Not enough. Tucks back in behind Jesse Redding. And it really shows you how important aerodynamics are at this place. We got changed for the 2nd position. Mike Tucker losing it now to Brandon Mefford. May lose 2 here. Chris Mefford up into the mix, but looks like Chris Mefford not on the lead lap. Just made a pit stop here a few laps ago. So the 46 definitely down 1 lap. Looks like he did take tires as well, though. He's going to find his way through here in short order. 51 laps up on the board. Should see some green flag stops here, I would assume, relatively soon. I know Chris Mefford kind of shortened it up. He took his chance a little bit sooner than everybody else, but he might be working a strategy play here. Millett still running in the 4th position. Mefford 2nd. Mike Tucker now in 3rd. Brian McCann out to a 2.5 second advantage over the rest of the field. Millett now making a move on Mike Tucker. Zach Millett up into the 3rd spot. Into the fence goes the 39, just a touch. like Tucker picking up a little bit of damage on the right front of that machine. Scraping the outside wall before turn in as well, trying to maximize that entry the best as possible. Right front actually looks pretty good on the 39 of Michael Tucker. Got away with another one. No harm, no foul. Back to the Drew Prail and Matt Sisler fight. This for the 9th position. Prail's got it. Sisler running in the 10th position. Jesse Redding has slipped back to 11th. Keaton Burnett 12th. Ken Couch and Vincent Short battling it out. Couch up the racetrack, Vincent Short down low, may have preferred position here, out of the corner. Big time drag race down the main straightaway. Vincent Short finally gets clear, moves short up in the 13th spot as Michael Tucker hits pit lane. Oh, Tucker has to back it up too. Slippery pit road we've seen here tonight. We've seen Zach Millett make that mistake twice now. We've seen it out of Michael Tucker as well. Lap 54 looks like green flag stops just starting to get underway. It looks like Tucker is planning this one down at the very last lap. The way this race has played out, very light on caution flags. That's always a plus, but I think Tucker is banking on that to remain the case. If we get a green-white checkered, he's going to have to pit for fuel, but if this thing runs green to the end, he might be good to go. Pit stop for Tucker, 16.55, about a second and a half slower than it really should have been. 15 flat or better is where you want to be. Again, that overshoot in the box just a bit certainly didn't help his cause. Brian McCann into turn 3. So Tucker was able to make that stop under green and not lose a lap. Again, it shows you how big this place is at 2.5 miles. Of course, we're not high banks like Daytona and Talladega. It takes a little bit longer to get around here. 55 seconds plus right now is the current lap time. McCann running a 55.86 that pass lap. So you've got time to get in and out. Millett looking to the inside on Brandon Mefford for the second spot. Mefford up the racetrack, keeps it out of the wall. Millett may have to tuck back in. He does. Chris Goins barely staying off the outside wall onto turn number 2. Millett back down to the inside on Brandon Mefford. It looks like Millett may have smacked the outside wall as well. A little bit of right front fender damage on the 315. Joe Tucker, Drew Prail hit pit road. So does Jesse Redding. And at this point, everyone's within their fuel window. It's just a matter of when do I want to come down pit road? When do I want to make this stop? Do I want to build myself a little bit of extra insurance in case there's a late caution, or do I want to gamble like Michael Tucker? And there, Joe Tucker overshoots the box as well. Drew Prail in solidly, so is Jesse Redding. Again, I guess you have to wonder if the track temperature has anything to do with the slippery pit stalls. 113 degree is the track temp right now. Those pit stalls maybe a little bit cooler, just given that they're concrete. Brian McCann off turn 3. Brandon Mefford, Neil Quick, all the IROC boys heading down pit road at the same time. Matt Sisler's going to follow them down as well. Zach Millett inherits the top spot over Chris Goins and Will Hewitt. Keaton Burnett's 4th, Doug Wysocki up in the 5th spot. Left side tires going on the 3 of Brian McCann. Drops the jack, he's down and away, 15.13 seconds. And Zach Millett out of turn 3. He's going to come slow down here, get to pit road speed, make his final stop of the afternoon. Chris Goins following him down as well. Will Hewitt the same. Keaton Burnett's going to cycle through and take over the top spot. Now I'm curious if Millett is going to take any time at all to repair that right front damage. And under the green flag, I don't know that you want to do that. Looks to be relatively okay. Does Millett get in clean this time? He does. Right side goes in the air. Caution comes out. Perfect timing for Millett.
But doing a really good job. Tell me about your race car. What do you can?
This guarantees guys like Mike Tucker are going to be able to make it to the end on fuel for sure. And Will Hewitt misses the box considerably, ends up in the wrong stall. Caution's going to help him a lot as well. So caution on the speedway. Don't know what we have here. Might have been Joe Tucker. In fact, it was some damage on the 13 machine. He just finished up his pit stop. Let's take a look, see what happened here. Cold tires to the inside of Chris Mefford. Tucker gets down low. Left side's below the yellow line. It slides him up the racetrack and into the 46 and into the outside wall. Both drivers go. Big time hit for the 13. Again, thank goodness we're in the sim and not real life. That would have been a brutal impact. And Tucker just gets just below the yellow line there and upsets the handle on the race car. Sends him up into the 46. So, under caution, third one of the day. Keaton Burnett with the race lead, still needing to make his pit stop. And in fact, the top 6 drivers all going to get this opportunity under the caution flag to make their stop. Now, it's still going to put them in further back in the pack, so we'll see if the tire differential is going to make a huge difference for these guys or not. Will Hewitt in the 18th position made his pit stop at lap 58. It's just about a lap or so ago, so there's not going to be a huge difference there, but there's only about 6 drivers that need to make a pit stop here, so this is not going to be a huge advantage for those that didn't make their stop as of yet. Though, guys like Zach Millett, a few of those guys that made their pit work happen during that caution flag coming out, they may be in a better position once they get cycled back through. We'll see how that pans out. Keaton Burnett, Doug Wysocki, Vincent Short, Ken Couch, Larry Bruner, Shane Haas, all down pit road. Chris Mefford in the pits as well, involved in that incident. Same with Joe Tucker. Tires for all. Chris Mefford pulls into his pit box. Some damage to be repaired on the 46. So for now, it looks like Brian McCann and Michael Tucker are going to cycle back to the front row. Brandon Mefford, Neil Quick, 3rd and 4th. Matt Sisler and Drew Prell, 5th and 6th. 7th, Jesse Redding, Zach Millett. 8th, 9th, Chris Goins. 10th, Mark Truxell. I haven't talked about Mark much today, but he's up 8 spots. Started almost last. Truxell in the number 5, Little Tate's Cupcakes livery. It's the same livery he's been running since way back in the days of Superior Class Auto Racing in the truck. It doesn't get old, folks. Expecting the 1 to go signal the next time by. If not, we're going to take a quick break. But if we get it, we'll stick around. Likely cover this one to the finish. And there you see it. Pace car lights are extinguished. So we're on the 1 to go. 2 minutes from now, we'll be back green flag racing. Just gives you an idea how long this place is. 2.5 miles under the caution flag. Takes just shy of 2 full minutes. Whereas we're getting it done in 54.18. And S Vengeance says, please no commercials. Don't worry, if we do another commercial, at least under green flag, it'll be side by side so you don't miss anything. I may have to get one out of the way, just contractually obligated to do so. Tucker family says, that guy in second looking for a win. Michael Tucker certainly been very fast this season here in the No Bull Racing Series. Has the pace to win one of these races for sure. Maybe it's today. We'll have to see. Now, the best part about this is the gloves have come off. We're not saving fuel anymore. We've got plenty to make it to the end. These guys shouldn't have anything to worry about, so they're going to get after it. Pace car is going to take the hard left down pit road as we wait for Barney to wave the green flag. They're in the restart zone. The green flag is in the air. We're back racing at Pocono Raceway. Crossed up in the middle of the corner, straightened her back out, and kept it on the wall. We stay green. McCann, your race leader still as we come to lap 64. Mike Tucker second. Brandon Mefford running in the 3rd spot. Neil Quick and Matt Sisler, your top 5. Drivers just inches off the outside safer barrier on the exit of turn 1. Trouble in turn 2. Chris Goins is in it.
There, buddy.
Seemed to be more than just Chris Goins involved in it, but he seems to be the only one left over. Let's get a look, see what happened here to the 41. Vincent Short to the inside. Larry Bruner looking to go high on the 41, just gets into the back of him, sends Chris Goins around. Goins taking a couple of bumps into the safer barrier and continuing on. Well, let's see how it unfolded here for Larry Bruner and his perspective. I think Larry was thinking about going way high. So with that, we're under caution once again. I think it's the 4th of the afternoon. We're going to step aside, get a break out of the way under yellow instead of green. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Pocono Raceway in the closing laps, coming to lap 68. We're back under the green flag in just a moment. Brian McCann leads Mike Tucker down to it.
Green, green, green.
We're back racing. Back out in front, Brian McCann in charge. Second place, Brandon Mefford under hot pursuit from Michael Tucker, but Neil Quick making a move to the inside for that third position. Neil Quick shot out of a cannon, remains side by side into the tunnel turn with Mike Tucker. On board with Neil Quick. Great defense from Michael Tucker to maintain that third position. Tucker in behind Zach Millett. Less than a car length off the back bumper at the 315. McCann still out in front, but Brandon Mefford has closed it within a quarter of a second at the stripe. 11 laps to go. 2.5 car lengths the advantage for the three of Brian McCann in a battle here. Still shaped up here for the third spot. Real Quick gets to the outside of Michael Tucker. Tucker's going to slide in behind the two, take the fourth position. Now he's going to have to worry about Zach Millett out the back window. Tucker not worried about Millett. Drives it to the inside. Dive bomb to the inside of Neil Quick. Gets him crossed up, sends the two up the racetrack. Oh, I don't know about that one. Sends Neil Quick back to the sixth position. Tucker now fourth and give up a spot to Zach Millett. Warpham Gaming says open set. Nope. We're still on the fixed set. Michael Tucker diving it way into the racetrack, way into the corner to try and take that spot from Neil Quick. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that was a little bit too aggressive given the position he's fighting for and the stage we are in the race. But everybody saved it. We stay green. Back out front, Brian McCann now starting to put some distance between himself and Brandon Mefford. It's over half a second, not by a whole lot, with less than 10 laps to go. Out of turn number 3, he'll see 9 laps to go as he gets to the stripe. I don't think anybody's got anything for Brian McCann at this stage of the game. Not enough time left. If Millett gets up there, he was so fast early on. I don't know if he's got enough time to reel in and make the pass on both the top two. McCann stretching it out even further, almost a full second, above 3/4 back to Brandon Mefford. Battle shaping up again between Millett and Mike Tucker. Tucker right to the back bumper of the 315 out of turn number 3, a half car length. The deficit back to the 39. 8 laps to go from Pocono Raceway. Millett maintains the 3rd position. 4th is Mike Tucker. And don't look now, behind Michael Tucker, it's the 2 of Neil Quick, who's got to be a little hot under the collar after the contact between the 2 drivers. Tucker losing some ground to Zach Millett now. It's about 4 or 5 car lengths. We'll see what happens when Neil Quick gets there. Does Tucker give him the spot back? We'll see. With Michael Tucker, Neil Quick closing in. Tucker maintaining that 4th position ahead of Neil Quick. Quick maybe a car length and a half off the back bumper of the 39. Quick having a solid day regardless. He's up 12 positions, but I'm sure he's not happy about the contact with himself in the 39 just a few laps ago. McCann still out in front now, a 2.5 seconds ahead of the 83 of Mefford. Millett still running in the 3rd spot, starting to reel in Brandon Mefford ever so slightly. It's about 3 or 4 car lengths between the 2. 5 laps to go from Pocono Raceway. Mike Tucker maintaining the 4th position, right where he started here today. Further back, Will Hewitt fighting with Drew Prell for position. Hewitt's got it in the 6th spot for now. Prell still to the inside. Prell washes up the racetrack just a bit, stays off the door of the 33 out of turn 2. And the battle again, Tucker and Quick. Quick was right there. Neil's trying to find a solution to this, trying to find a way around. Is it going to be topside? Is it going to be on the bottom? Is it going to be right up the gut into the bumper of the 39? We'll see. We got 4 laps to go to find out. Still the battle for position between Prell and Hewitt. Prell wants that 6th spot. Prell has to tuck in behind Will Hewitt. Hewitt slides up the track out of 2 once again, but he's going to carry a little bit more speed. Back to Mike Tucker and Neil Quick. Quick looking to the inside into turn number 3. Is he got the room? He does. Both drivers so far playing nice. We'll see how long that lasts. Out of turn 3, Tucker maintains the spot, and real loose out of turn 3 is Neil Quick. Has to gather it up. He does so, but he loses a ton of ground to the 39. Back to the Hewitt and Prell fight. Hewitt's got it for now, but Prell inches just ahead. Hewitt powers back around the outside with the momentum. Prell's going to tuck back in behind. Matt Sisler is in behind both of these drivers now. I don't want to say the battle between Tucker and Quick has ended, but it may be. Real loose out of 3, though, is Tucker. He's trying to get away. Maybe not. 2 laps to go from Pocono Raceway. That's still a pretty significant distance. Quick is there. A couple of car lengths off the back bumper of the 39 of Michael Tucker down into turn number 1. Tucker still has the 4th position, but Will Hewitt now challenging Neil Quick for that 5th spot. Everybody maintains a clean line out of turn number 1 into the tunnel turn once again. Neil Quick way up the racetrack, way high as Will Hewitt takes the spot. Ken Couch almost loses it in the middle of turn 2, keeps her straight. Now it's Tucker in 4th, Hewitt 5th, Neil Quick back to P6. White flag in the air, final lap for Brian McCann. The battle for second is shaped up considerably here in the final lap here at Pocono Raceway. Zach Millett is there, just inches off the back bumper of Brandon Mefford. Now a car length out of corner exit, down the Long Pond straightaways. Brian McCann well in hand with the race lead. 2 seconds the advantage over these 2 drivers. Just needs to stay clean the rest of the lap, and he'll have another checkered flag. Mefford and Millett down into turn 3 for the final time. Does Mefford have enough speed to maintain it? Looks like he will. A checkered flag is waving for Brian McCann. He wins at Pocono Raceway. Second place is Brandon Mefford. Zach Millett finishes 3rd. Neil Quick not happy. Let's see if he shows his displeasure. He does post-race. Brian McCann going nuts with his burnouts. And Brian McCann blows it up during the burnout. So with that, we'll jump out, get our final break out of the way, have our top 3 finishers in the booth after this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
looks like Millet might have won this. He did by 2/100ths of a second over Brandon. That S4 guy off turn 4 for the final time sees the checkered flag. It waves. It belongs to the 315. Checkered flag. Contact and Brian Rose wins it. A photo finish at the line. Oh, we got a wreck. Will Hewitt's through the trial for the final time, and oh, they're wrecking. Big trouble. Vincent Short sneaks through, and I think Short. Back at Pocono Raceway at the conclusion of race number 8 of the No Bull Racing Series, Brian McCann taking home the checkered flag. Let's get a word with our race winner and hear his thoughts about tonight's race. Brian McCann, it's Steve in the HBR TV booth. You got me?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well. Congratulations on yet again another race win here in the No Bull Racing Series. We knew you were going to be good here tonight. Dominant fashion, a great performance. Walk us through your race, man.
Well, there's one thing you need to win a race here, and that is clean air. So once I found that, as long as I maintained that, I felt pretty good about it. If you're in that second place, you kind of have hope that you can get around the leader, but iRacing's got different plans for you. So fortunately, we shuffled through the pit cycles and everything, and I got the clean air on that last few restarts, and just made sure I didn't mess up anything on those green flag restarts, and here I am.
Clean air, you mentioned that was certainly the case. Millet led every single lap of that first stage, and you got out in front there with nobody in front of you. You were able to run away. We saw the same with you, and once you got out front, you led the most laps after the fact. There really wasn't a whole lot of challenge there, short of just off the restarts. I know you had to deal with Michael Tucker there for a little bit, but after just a few laps, you started to stretch out that advantage. Other than clean air, what was the key to this place? You usually run very well here.
Just being a flat track right front, so you cannot abuse the right front on the entry. You can't overdrive, and that's the problem with being behind somebody. You don't have that air to help you in that corner, so you have to drastically slow down to make the corner and not overdrive. So that's the key, that right front. You got to save it.
We did a great job of it, collecting another trophy here in the No Bull Racing Series. We go from here, which is, I guess a lot of people like to call this place like a road course, but it's only left turns. Next week, we go to a proper road course out at Sonoma Raceway. I know you like running those tracks. There was a big battle between yourself and Zach Millet there last season in the truck. Do we expect the same thing next week?
Oh, I love that track. Hopefully Millet can show up and run that race. See if we can have a revenge race there. Yeah, me and him had a fun time racing it last time. I don't think I've had this car on a road course, so I might have to practice a little bit, but I think my brother said he's going to show up to that one too. He loves road courses, so we'll have to see how that goes.
Well, it's certainly looking forward to it. If you get some road course ringers that want to pop in, make things a little more realistic, that's always a plus as well. We expect to see good showing out of you from there as well. You've won some races there in the past, but it's looking pretty good so far this season, man. Who do you want to thank for getting you to this point?
Yeah, my family, you for doing the broadcast, the league admins and everybody behind the scene, the race control for helping out here, drivers for showing up every week, and our sponsors that make this thing happen. Thank you.
All right, Brian. Well, again, congratulations, man. Good luck next week on the road course at Sonoma.
Thank you.
Brian McCann, your race winner here from Pocono. Next, we're going to talk driver the number 83, Brandon Mefford, and get a word with our runner-up, the 83 of Brandon Mefford. It's Steve in the booth. You got me?
I got you, Steve.
Brandon, congratulations, man. A solid second-place finish. I know Brian is tough just about everywhere we go, but especially here at the Tricky Triangle at Pocono Raceway. Short of some nitrous oxide, was there anything else that you could have done differently to reel in the 3 there late?
I wasn't going to reel him in. The only thing we were going to be able to do with him was to get that clean air from him and hope he didn't beat you up off of 2, because he was, I think he was better than everybody up off of 2 there late in that run. He had it all figured out.
Certainly a fun one to watch. Nevertheless, some battles throughout the course of the race. We go from here at Pocono, the Tricky Triangle, out to a very tricky racetrack out in California. That's the Sonoma Raceway. I don't know if you're necessarily a road course guy per se, but how do you feel about your chances next week in this car out at Sonoma?
Top 15 is going to be a win for me.
All right, fair enough. At least he's honest about it.
It's not my favorite place to be. You know, the road courses are, you know, Zach and Brian and Neil and Chris, those guys do a really good job out there on the road courses. So I'm going to stay clean and try to finish, and that's where we're going to end up.
Well, that's all you can do. If you run all the laps and you keep it on the racetrack, you got a shot at a solid finish either way. Brandon, congratulations again here on a second-place finish. Who do you want to shout out and thank to before we let you get going here?
I want to thank Michael Tucker there. I blocked him down the back straightaway off 1 or 2, however you want to look at that. But good sport about it. I think he understood what I was trying to do. He probably could have turned me, so thanks, Michael, for keeping that clean. And then again to Zach too. I knew getting down into 1, I had to keep that high line to keep my momentum, and you know, he could have went in there again and dumped me, but he's not that type of racer, so thanks to him. And then thanks to everybody else in the No Bull Racing Series for showing up and putting on a great show each week. This has been a lot of fun to race this season. Been fortunate to be up here in the top 5 most weeks, so pretty proud of that. Thanks to all the fans that tune in. Go get the stream I like. Steve does a great job over here at HBR TV, putting on a good show. And then thanks as always, Place, and all my buddies over at Charity Motorsports, racing for a cause. We're all racing for something that means something to us. So go check us out on Facebook if you don't mind. And then thanks to my family. And for letting me do this every Sunday night and getting away and into my weekend on a good note.
Brandon, I got to ask too, and I think I kind of already know the answer to it, but you guys over in the IROC Challenge Series ran this car in your season 7 that you just wrapped up. Does that season experience in this car really help you guys over here in No Bull?
I think it's second to none. You know, we've been to all these tracks usually once. Now our fuel was a lot different. We had to save fuel, so the racing's completely different over here. We're allowed to race. We can race these cars, not worry about conserving fuel too much usually. But that experience is it's key because this car's not easy to drive. It's got a lot of power. It's really loose and free on the throttle, so you gotta really know what you're doing in it. So yeah, it's helped a lot.
Well, it's kind of what we expected, and again, thanks for talking to us, Brandon. Good luck next week out at Sonoma.
Thanks, Steve.
Brandon Mefford, your second place finisher here at Pocono Raceway. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like I've got Zach Millett available for comment. I didn't get a chance to chat with him pre-race. He may actually have to work, so he may have gotten out of the race car and immediately into his personally operated vehicle and headed off to the jail to take care of the inmates. But with that said, a strong run for Zach Millett. We'll maybe get a chance to talk to him next week. Again, I don't know what his schedule looks like. Maybe he'll be around for Sonoma. Hopefully he is. Certainly a very fast driver out on the road courses. But we may have Kevin McCann there as well. So between Millett and both McCann brothers, Neil Quick, those guys are really good on road courses. We'll see how that pans out next week. So with that, let's take a look at our race results. Of course, we talked to our top 2, Brian McCann, Brandon Mefford, both IROC Challenge drivers, having a little bit of more experience in these cars rolling into this season. Zach Millett was 3rd. Michael Tucker was 4th. Will Hewitt finished in the 5th position. 6th place finisher was Neil Quick. After some contact with Michael Tucker, he was able to save the car, but it certainly cost him some track position. But a 6th place finish for the 2. Drew Prowl was 7th. Matt Sisler finished in the 8th spot. Doug Wysocki was 9th. Chris Mefford was 10th. Ken Couch finished in the 11th position. 12th place finisher was Jesse Redding. Keaton Burnett was 13th. Mark Truxell was 14th. 15th place finisher was Vincent Short. Shane Haas was 16th. Larry Bruner came home in the 17th spot. Chris Goins, after a crash, was 18th. And last but not least, the number 13 of Joe Tucker finishing out in the 19th position. That's your race results here from Pocono Raceway. Race number 8. Next week is race 9. That's going to be out at Sonoma Raceway. And Zach Millett in the stream chat, actually driving for real now. So yes, I'm assuming he's headed off to work. So tough break for Millett. Not able to get him up here in the interview room, but we'll have to find out if he's going to be available next week on the road course. Got to thank you guys all in the stream chat. Though you're mostly Joe and Michael Tucker fans, we welcome it every single week. We just wish we had a little more parity in the stream chat. But we do appreciate you guys being here I love how you got a little back and forth, cheering on your drivers. You really get into it. It makes it fun for me. It actually helps me as well, so I do appreciate that. Give the stream a like if you haven't already. Just click that like or that thumbs up button in the YouTube stream. It's free to do, and it helps us more than you know, not just here at the channel, but also the league itself. And if you're bored and you need something to check out, hbrtv1.com. As always, I do a terrible job keeping it updated. We'll try to get on that when I can, but work-life balance, the whole 9 yards, you get it. It's not always easy to do. With that said, thanks, guys. I appreciate the viewership here tonight. Join us next week on the road course. Certainly looking forward to it. Again, thanks for watching. Have a great evening.